Sunday school is with us today. It'll be a fun day. Today, I have a bunch of fun pictures that I want everybody to see. So everybody can make goals, right? Goals is good for everyone. So I'm going to give you a little time to think, but this is a audience participation service today. So think about what are your top accomplishments from this last year. So in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to turn to your neighbor and share what you think the top things that you did, the things you're most proud of, most excited about that you did this last year. And think about it. But, I'll give you a little time to think so you can reflect on it. And since I know you're probably not going to pay any attention to what I'm saying now because you're thinking, oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to say, right? I'm going to go ahead and tell you a bunch of things that you already know, right? So last year, these are some of those activities and programs that we had here at our church, right? We had our regular Sunday service. We had Wednesdays with Pastor Thompson. We had witnessing on the community college campuses. We had Saturday Divine Principle breakfast. We had our monthly youth activities. And probably a lot of people's favorite was the monthly family outing. So I figured it would be fun to just look at some of the highlights of the monthly family outing from last year. So thank you, Johann Schuster and the Schuster family. Let's look. It started off in January at Donner Summit up in the snow. And then in April we had this event in Muir Woods. Lots of hiking. Quite beautiful up there, wasn't it? Remember? I think that was one of our bigger groups. We even had some new people and a lot of our second generation. And then in May, for Mother's Day, we had a barbecue movie for everybody but the mothers, and then we took the moms out, right?
Yeah.
To dinner, to lunch. And then Calaveras up in Big Trees, that's where the Jeff Talixson lives up near there. He kind of helped show us around. Got to look at some great scenery. Amazing big trees, right? The giant trees up there. And there's Jeff Talixson on the left, and Renata screaming in the back. And there were a few interesting wild animals here. We saw a lot of wild animals. Not only deer, but we actually saw a bear. And actually there were some even stranger wild animals we saw there. Look at that. One running around, taking pictures, and then the cuddly bears, right? The cute animals. But anyway, that's everybody, or not everybody, it was for the picture. In the summertime was a big camp out, right? Remember that? Up at Lake Oroville. We have lots of fun in the water. Of course, right now it feels like, gee, that's kind of cold. I think about it now. But climbing up to the hills and lots of activities by everyone. Lots of fun. Lots of smiling faces, right? Next year, every year we go out camping. It's always a fun adventure. Lots of activities, including Frisbee. You see that amazing catch? Service. Even had readings by everybody. Helped us do Hunde nighttime, even preparing s'mores. All kinds of fun activities there around the fire. And then our service with that guy sleeping in the middle there. So. August time, some of you went to Point Reyes National Seashore and saw the beach. And then in September, it was at Taylor Creek at the Visitor Center. Again, getting out there in nature and looking at some the creek and the migrant fish and everything. A lot of fun activities. Look at all the scenery and even pictures of scenery. And then there's other amazing things to discover there, right? Out on the water. The great things organized all by the Schuster family. And then in October, there was Apple Hill, right? And a lot of us came back with pies from Apple Hill. And then in November, went back to Muir Woods because it was so much fun there. And see the rangers giving us some advice. And it looks like it was a cold day then, right? People were wrapped up well. But if we're wrapped up well, then things go fine, right? Beautiful scenery. But you know what? This is the young people had their own outing, and they climbed up to the top there and did a bunch of activities there. And then also, actually, we had the mini workshop where a lot of people went out and did all kinds of things. They stayed overnight here and then went out in the morning. So thank you for the Schuster family, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Johan and Tommy Schuster, basically, they were the main organizers of all those activities, and all those things that they did. So definitely a lot of appreciation. If you have a chance, when they show up, please thank you. Johan's commitment says we want nature outings that grow our community stronger. And I think he's done a good job in making that happen, even organizing that sleepover for Christmas time. So a quick view of just some of the other things that we did. Of course, last year we had a Happy New Year party. We're going to have one this Friday. Hope you're planning some fun entertainment. Each family should make some a joyful noise. And then actually up in Wheatland, the Goppers have been also still very active, and they did a beautiful event, a Martin Luther King event, coordinated an interfaith event with a number of different churches came together, and Bob Gopper was the MC for the event, and Marie played music for some of the performances, but that was quite an event. They're doing a lot of things up in Wheatland, a lot to be appreciative. Here in Sacramento, of course, in February and March, we had the Heavenly Parents Day, we had True Parents' Birthday, and then Foundation Day, and the International Blessing of Marriage. Lots of activities. In March, you may remember that we had the Love and Logic, right? With Myrna LaPrey came, gave us some parenting education workshop. In April, Mifa and Peter organized this Speak Up program where they had 4 Sundays where we met with the young people and prepared them, and they actually gave the sermon on 2 Sundays, right? The youth worship service, we had one challenging the comfort zone and also the importance of family. So it was great to see the young people up here, right? Preaching and teaching, sharing up front. I already mentioned before, but it was definitely nice to have, organized by the Schusters, the Mother's Day Sisterhood celebration. How many of you went? Remember? Yay! A nice lunch or brunch. Well, this is while we were hanging out here having a barbecue and watching a movie. They got to go to the restaurant. And then every Memorial Day we have our picnic out in this is also in May. Peter and Mifa organized the barbecue, so we had a great picnic out there. In June, Mr. Machida passed through on his walk through America, right? He walked all the way across America again. And in June, he was here in Sacramento. And of course, in July, the big thing was the family camp. Yay, organized by the Schusters. In August, we had our memorial for Father Moon. And then Labor Day, we also had another picnic. And that was in September and October. Of course, we have to have something for Halloween. So we had our party with lots of games and activities with the young people. And then our Thanksgiving party. And then we're getting close. Again, reminder about the workshop, the mini workshop that they had. Our Christmas party. And then just last week, just before Christmas, we had our Christmas Eve candlelight service. Whew. Thank you so much, right? It was a great year. Lots of things, lots of activities. So even more specifically, there's a lot of thank yous, because all that stuff couldn't happen. I mentioned the Schuster family, because they did a lot to organize those nature outings. But there's a lot of people that make this happen. So all the kitchen sisters, the Mrs. Excuse me, Mrs. Takagi, Mrs. Iwaya, Ono, always making sure things are working in the background, right? With all the food and things like that. Then also we have the Sunday school team, right? Yay! Hikari Sharp organizing it, but with Katya and Tomie, and then all the young people too. So, and Kazuka Brown and Yenju Naomi and Anna and Elizabeth. Yay! So many we don't even remember, Mom. I don't know, Mom. There's so many things that go on that I don't even know what's going on. And then we have the bookkeeper. We also thank you, Kazuka, and the cleanup, taking care of making things look good every week. Yay, Adriel. The code on and witnessing. Thank you, Tomoko and Mike, for keeping the ball rolling, keeping things moving. Of course, we have the youth ministry every month. Something happening for the young people of all the different ages. And the band, who the band wasn't here. Half the band is gone today. But anyway, we appreciate them and we're grateful for them, right? And then I have to thank the financial board for helping me make a lot of decisions about how we're spending money and like that. Particularly Monty and the Chisholms and the Schusters and Hearys and the Thicks. Finally, thank you, everybody. All of you, we're making things happen, right? We're making things happen. So, now's the time. I'm giving you a little time to think. So please turn to your neighbor and think about one thing that you want to share from this past year, one of your accomplishments that you're really proud of and that you really feel good about when you think back on 2015. Okay, please turn to your neighbor. So at the end of the year is a good time just to look and reflect back on the past year. You saw, I showed the slideshow of all the fun things that happened this year, especially all those nature outings and hiking up to the top of mountains, and then all the activities of everyone, all the things that happen in a church community to make things happen. Anyway, reflecting on the past year is a good place to start making our goals and looking forward to the next year. So every year I like to go through these kind of spiritual checklists and just remind us and look at of course, the three great purposes that we know that we have in our life. It comes from Genesis. God said, and God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. This, of course, is what we call the three great blessings, our three great purposes. And pretty much every activity in our life you can put into one of these three broad categories. Be fruitful, to multiply, and have dominion. So to be fruitful, right, means to become a person of true love. Well, when we think about that, we think about what's my connection with God, how's my daily spiritual practice, and my own self-discipline. So in that arena, I encourage you on the piece of paper to make your own goals dealing with these kinds of issues. Our individual perfection, becoming a person of true love. What am I doing to improve my connection with God? What am I doing as a daily spiritual practice? Determined for this next year, daily spiritual practice. And also, how can I improve my self-discipline and my self-control? What kind of action can I do? So this is in that area of the first great purpose in our life. And of course, the second great purpose is our loving relationships. And we think about these three things. My relationships with my family members, my fellowship and relationships with my spiritual family, with the church community, and also my relationship with my tribe, my mission actually to be a good influence and example on all the people in the world around me. That's our witness, is just our lives. So in that second great area, think about the goals that you can make, that each one of us can make, to deal with my family relationships, my spiritual family, our church community, and the people around me, the people in my lives. And then, of course, for the third great blessing, think about being loving owners and stewards over things of the creation. And that includes developing our gifts. What am I doing to improve my talents, to my skills? Am I using my gifts as a loving Lord and Creator over the things of creation? And how am I doing in mastering material foundations, particularly finances? Are there any goals that I need to make in terms of being a true owner of this world and a true owner? This is from Jesus encouraging us. This comes from Matthew. It says, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven." So as we look at those goals and plans for the next year, think about we are each meant to be a light. The joy that we experience in our lives, the fulfillment that we experience in our lives, we want that to overflow to be a blessing to the people around us. So on the back of your goal sheet, here's just some quick tips and reminders about accomplishing goals. Number one, write them down. Write down your goals, right? Get it down on paper. Secondly is make them specific. Not, I'm just going to do better. If you make it actually very something specific, like I'm going to do specifically this many things, like when we make a spiritual condition, specific, measurable results. And then also, instead of great, big, grandiose things, I'm going to bring world peace this year. I'm going to bring peace in my heart. I'll start with a small step. Start with me. But make regular steps towards the bigger goals. Then fourthly, we should reflect on our goals. We make our goals and then don't look at them again until next December. Not all that helpful. But making a goal still is beneficial. But if we reflect on them, we give them more power. Whatever we have give and take with. And then finally, if we make ourselves accountable, like we make promises to people, especially to people we trust, to hold us accountable. Oh, you said you were going to avoid that sweet, or whatever you might have. If you have someone that can help support you in accomplishing it. But most important is our attitude and our thought. The first part, I went back and reflected on all the things that happened last year. Again, all those amazing photos from all the nature outings, right, that the Schusters helped organize. Amazing. And now that they're here, let's give them a hand. Thank you. Yeah. The whole first half of the sermon was just talking about the nature outings. But all the activities that we do and areas that we contribute, our attitude is what's most important. Do we have a heart of love? Our goal is to be people of God's love, who represent God's love, and manifest joy in our lives. So the way we think and our attitude towards things, we want to always keep that grateful heart, the forgiving heart, and the loving heart. Here's from Father Moon when he's talking about training in life. He says, human thought is a wonderful thing. With one thought, you can think of the same thing in an evil way and be headed for hell. But with another thought, you can think of it in another way around, and you are positive in your thinking. You are all glad, and with that happiness, you are entitled to heaven. Every moment, you must be thinking of how to swallow the bad things and digest them. Your way to heaven will decide whether your way of thinking will decide whether you are heaven-bound or hell-bound. So, in this next year, let's build on the foundation, this someone else has said, that I modified a little bit. Let's build on the foundations that have been laid, on the sacrifices that have been made, the lessons that have been learned, the experiences that have been earned, and make 2016 the best year yet for God's providence to build the heavenly kingdom. Okay? So let's turn to your neighbor and share some more. I interrupted you before about your reflections, but now share something about your goals. Okay? Thank you.